let's say I am taking one of the vessel which is containing of some amount of water. Let's say I am taking 1 liter of water, or I am taking in the mass means 1 kilogram of water I taken. In terms of mass I written in terms of mass. So I am using this water with help of the uniform heating element. Uniform heating element means the burner or any heating element it is producing in equal amount of time it will produce the equal amount of energy to the vessel. That is the uniform heating element, the meaning of uniform element. So now I am conducting the experiments in the different manner. First of all, I am calculating that what is the initial temperature of the water I measured. Let's assume T1 is the initial temperature of the water, T1 degrees Celsius. Now I calculated how much time taken. It is the time. How much time taken to rise the temperature of the water for 1 degree Celsius. This is my condition. How much time is needed? That is my goal. So I measured this one. Let's assume it is taken nearly 10 minutes time. It is just a small experiment I am taking. So after that I did the experiment with help of the another vessel which is containing with double times of the amount of the mass which already I taken in the previous experiment. Now this vessel is containing double time, that is the twice of the mass which is I already taken in the previous one. So let's assume here is the mass of the water is equal to 2 kilograms. Here is the mass of the water is equal to 2 kilograms. Now I also taken the initial temperature of the water is in the same on the previous case. Let's assume it is a 30 degrees Celsius means here also before the performing the experiment the initial temperature of the water I kept at 30 degrees Celsius. Now I am performing the experiment to rise this water to 1 degree Celsius. That means I am reaching to T2 is equal to 31 degrees Celsius in previous case. Here also I raise the temperature up to T2 degrees centigrade is equal to 31 degrees Celsius. Just I reached 1 degree Celsius. But I measured the time T2. T2 is the time taken to rise the temperature with same uniform heat element which is giving to the system same amount of heating element is not changed here. That means in the previous case the amount of energy in 1 second is going 10 joules means in this case also amount of heat energy is going to the 10 joules per second. Here also 10 joules per second. That is the case we are taking. Now the time taken. How much time taken is I measured here T2. Let's just we kept another side. We will guess that one also. How much time it will take? Can we guess anyone? 20 minutes it will take. Yeah, it will take the 20 minutes time. So that is equal to 10 into 2. 10 into 2 is equal to 20 minutes it will take. Now the same experiment, the third case I am performing the experiment with the same previous case also, same in the previous manner also. Now I am taking the vessel which is having the 1 kilogram of mass water only with the same amount of burner only I am using. That is the uniform heating element I am taking. So the energy which is giving to the vessel is the same uniform throughout all three cases. But I am here, what I am taking that initial temperature is the 30 degrees Celsius T1, but I am planning to rise T2 is the twice of the initial temperature. That is equal to, I am need to go 32 degree Celsius. 32 degrees Celsius. But if in the previous case T1 is equal to 10 minutes, but what is the question here? What is the temperature? What is the time needed to raise this temperature? Here is the temperature rising here 2 minutes. 2 minutes time is there. Now the question is here is 30 minutes means 30 minutes. But our goal is not to describe these values, but what I mean to explain here, the measurement of what I mean explain here means see the rising temperature. So the rising temperature, is not it is depending on several parameters. First parameter is it depends upon how much mass quantity is present in the system. Is it correct or not?
Yes, sir.
It depends on mass which is containing in the system. Second one, the rising temperature is depending upon how many degrees you raised. So sorry, no, not here. The amount of heat energy absorbed. See, here is the amount of heat required. This is the point. The amount of heat required will depends upon mass of the system. That means if you are taking a huge amount of mass, here is the huge amount of mass. We are running this experiment for the long time. That means we are giving the more heat energy to the system. Is it correct or not?
Yes, sir.
That is, it depends upon the mass of the system, and also how much rise in temperature also it will depend. How much rise in temperature. That means you are rising 1 degree Celsius means you will give less amount of heat energy to the system. You are giving the 2 degrees Celsius means you are increasing. You need to provide more amount of heat energy to the system. Is it correct or not? Hello, our assumption, our conclusions are you? Is it correct only, no?
Yes, sir.
So that is the goal of this small experiment. What we are. So that means what does mean it telling that means the quantity of heat required. So final conclusions we are deriving that final conclusions from this experiment. So the conclusions are here. What I mean here, the conclusions are here means the quantity of heat required. The quantity of heat required to rise or cool the temperature. Now this is the experiment what we did to rise the temperature of the water. If the same experiment is performing to cool the water, that means here is the already water is at 32 degrees Celsius. We need to cool this water to 30 degrees Celsius. That means in this case heat will comes out from the system. Is it correct or not? Hello?
Yes, sir.
That is the thing. So the quantity of heat required, to give the substance. So these conditions I am taking for rising only I am taking. To give the substance, it is depending upon the mass of the system. It depends upon mass of the system. This is the first case. Now first one, second case, it depends upon how much change in temperature. Change in temperature. These are the two conclusions. It will depends upon mass and it depends upon the delta T. Delta T means how much change in temperature. So the change in temperature, it is depends upon that one. That is the main thing we are taking. That means if the more mass is there, we need to give the more amount of heat energy to rise the same equal amount of temperature. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
So that is the conclusion for our. Now we are going to. You may get the doubt. You may get the doubt if we are doing the same experiment. If I am taking, here is the water. Water is here. I am taking the water. So in the initial temperature of the water is equal to 30 degrees Celsius. Now the water, how much water is equal to the mass of the water is equal to 1 kilogram. Here is the one of the burner is there. So to supply the heat energy to the water into the vessel. So now the same burner I am taking identically burner. Here I am taking oil. Here I am taking the oil. I am taking. So this oil which is containing here the same burner which is hacking. So oil I am taking, that same burner I am taking, but here also mass of the oil is equal to 1 kilogram only. But the temperature of the oil is equal to, at initial stage is equal to 30 degrees Celsius. but you feel that these two systems will take the same amount of heat energy to rise the 1 degree Celsius, but I need to go to the 31 degree Celsius after final temperature. I need to go to the 31 degree centigrade at final temperature. My question is clear. So what is, if you feel that, can you guess that is it same amount of heat energy is enough to supply the system to rise the equal amount of temperature to T2 is equal?
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
no means what is our conclusion? That means to rise the equal amount of temperature, to rise the 1 degree temperature, the two different systems will take two different amount of heat energy. Is it our conclusion is correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So that means to rise the 1 degree Celsius of substance, different substance having the different property, different substance are they using, different substance they needed different amount of energy. Is it correct or not? We are moving to accurate definition. We are moving towards to the accurate definition. That means one of the physical quantity is defining that each system will have the particular amount of heat energy to rise 1 degree centigrade. Are we getting or not?
Yes, sir.
That physical quantity only we are going to discuss. That physical quantity is named as heat capacity. Heat capacity. See what is our goal means? One of the physical quantities is existing. That physical quantity is telling how much heat energy to require that system to rise 1 degree Celsius from its initial stage. Are you getting or not?
Sir.
So that is our goal today. Our goal, heat capacity. So the heat capacity is nothing but the heat capacity is nothing but the amount of heat required. So the amount. Let's assume take what I told you. So heat capacity is nothing but I will write like it here. So dq, the amount of heat is equal to dq. In the previous case, we assumed that dq is directly proportional to mass of the substance and change in temperature dt. So if you want to rise the more temperature, you need to supply the more amount of heat energy. If you want to supply the more mass, you need to supply the more amount of heat energy to the system. Is it correct only, na?
Yes, sir.
Is it correct only, na?
Yes, sir.
So that is our goal. So that means that one of the mass we are defining that for all systems we are defining. So we are defining that for all systems one of the physical quantity we are defining without taking the considering the amount of mass of the system, without considering the amount of mass of the system. Then dq I am taking directly proportional to delta T. Then dq is equal to general definition I am taking to apply for all type of masses. That is equal to dq is equal to capital S into delta T, where S is equal to dq by dt. This is the heat capacity mathematical definition. See, how can we define this one? Means heat capacity S is equal to delta Q only. Delta Q is nothing but amount of heat supplied to the system. Amount of heat supplied to the system. Is it correct only, na? Supplied to the system. When it will become dq, this dt value must be become to 1. So then dt value must be become 1. So that means what is the 1 meaning? It may be 1 degree Celsius, it may be 1 Kelvin, or it may be 1 degree Fahrenheit. Like that we need to write the temperature. Can I write this one as a unit rise in temperature?
Yes, sir.
So that is nothing but unit rise in temperature. So what does it mean? Heat capacity is nothing but it is the amount of heat supplied to the system, or supplied means required. Can we write like that? Required to the system to rise the temperature of the system to 1 degree. Is it correct only, no?
Yes, sir.
So that is the definition of the heat capacity. So the amount of heat capacity is nothing but the amount of heat required, very very important, the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of the system, to rise the temperature of the system to unit. That means to unity. That means it may be 1 degree Celsius, it may be 1 Kelvin, it may be 1 degree Fahrenheit, it may be 1 Reaumur degree. Like that. We need to increase 1 degree. That is the heat capacity formula. So I will take that. What is the units of the heat capacity means? Units of heat capacity. Units of heat capacity will be denoted with a capital S. So units of heat capacity is equal to capital S is equal to basic formula delta Q by delta T. It is the definition of the delta Q by delta T. Now this is nothing but Q by T only. Don't confuse here. How much amount of heat supplied, it will telling that delta Q. How much rise in temperature, it is telling that delta T. That is only, don't confuse here. Q is equal to energy, T is equal to temperature. So what is the units of energy? Energy is the joule divided by Kelvin. So joule Kelvin inverse, that is the units of the. If you take Celsius inverse, Celsius units, erg per centigrade. Erg or calorie. Ergs per degree Celsius or calories per degree Celsius. These are the calories per degree Celsius. These are the units for heat capacity definition. Now they may ask the question. What is the dimensional formula for heat capacity? Dimensional formula for heat capacity. Heat capacity means S. Dimensional formula. How can we write? Dimensional formula means. So what is the dimensional formula means? We need to go to the basic definition. S is equal to Q by T. Q is equal to energy. Energy is equal to work only. So work is equal to ml square T power minus 2 into K power minus 1. Because of temperature is K power minus 1. So this is the formula. In the last class also we did the dimensional formula for energy. That's why I did not mention here. Directly I went to this one. Now they may ask the question. Heat capacity is defined throughout the entire mass of the system. That means now the heat capacity is defined means now I am taking here is the 4 kilogram of mass is there. So how much heat capacity means to rise this temperature of the to how much amount of heat is required to rise the how much temperature we rise, that is equal to heat capacity. But this is not a perfect quantity to compare the all system of all substances. That means I am taking 4 kilogram water, the heat capacity value will be some value. If I am taking 6 kilogram water, the heat capacity value will be some different value. Like that it will be. So now it is not a perfect quantity to compare the all systems. How can we compare how much amount of heat is required to rise the 1 degree Celsius? That is the one more physical quantity is there. Specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity. Now the another definition we are going. Specific heat capacity. So we are going to another definition, specific heat capacity. The specific heat capacity is denoted with the small s. Don't confuse here. They will give otherwise. Let me go to this specific heat capacity with C. C term we will go. C, specific heat capacity. So let me write the definition of the mathematical formula for the specific heat capacity. C is equal to 1 by m into delta Q divided by delta T. Will you please look on this one? What I told you, it is the amount of heat energy to required to rise the 1 degree centigrade of the substance. So that is the heat capacity. But 1 by m is this. M is equal to mass. Can I tell the definition of the definition? It is the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of unit mass. Are you correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So a unit mass. So what I am telling that C will be become to the delta Q when it will become delta Q when m is equal to 1, when m is equal to 1, but delta T is equal to 1. M means unit mass. M is equal to 1 is telling that unit mass, and delta T is equal to 1 is telling that unity rising temperature, unit rising temperature. So what is the definition? Delta Q is nothing but amount of heat required. Delta Q is equal amount of heat required. So what is the definition? So C is nothing but amount of heat required to rise the unit mass of this temperature, to rise the 1 degree Celsius of unit mass substance. Definition is correct, no? Let me write the definition. Let me visible this one because of you can easily understand. It is the heat required. To rise the temperature of 1 degree, temperature of unit for unit mass substance, that is nothing but specific heat capacity. So specific heat capacity, so the all time, so I am taking that is equal to delta, C is equal to delta Q by delta T. I am taking delta Q by delta T. I am taking. So 1 by m I forgot it. So that is equal to, then I will write this one, delta Q is equal to m into C into delta T. Can we write now?
Yes, sir.
Just I send these terms to other side. So that is equal to delta Q is equal to, so if the amount of heat required, if amount of heat required is labeled with Q is equal to amount of heat required Q, then MC delta T. This is also formula only, this is also formula, and both are same, but I label here delta Q as a Q only, amount of heat required. That is the definition. In the same manner, what is the units for heat capacity? What is the units for heat capacity?
Joule per kilometer.
Specific heat capacity. What are the units for specific heat capacity in SI units?
Joule per kilometer.
Very good. So, yes, just 1 by m came. That is equal to mass in kilogram. That's why just I am going to the basic fundamental formula. C is equal to 1 by m into delta Q by delta T. This can be written as 1 by m into Q by T. Then I can write it as the C units means Q units. Q units is the joule, mass units is the kilogram, temperature units Kelvin. Okay, na? This is the SI units. Now if you go to the CJS units, erg per gram per degree Celsius, or we can take calorie per gram per degree Celsius. This is the units for dimensional formula. Yes, it's correct. So that is equal dimensional formula for specific heat capacity. C is equal to, can I write like this? Previous dimensional formula is equal to ml square T power minus 2 Kelvin inverse is there. In this one we got the mass. So that is equal to mass will cancel. That is equal to m0 L power T power minus 2 K power minus 1. These are the dimensional formula. Now one thing I need to point out here, specific heat capacity is not a constant term throughout the range of the substance. You may feel like this. What I mean to tell here. Please concentrate here. They may ask in your entrance examination, but in your normal examination they won't ask. Let me clear this one with probably one small doubt. Let's assume this is the vessel which is containing with water. So the temperature of the water is here at 30 degrees Celsius. Just I am raising the temperature 31 degrees Celsius. I calculate the specific heat capacity some value. This is the some value. So now this same experiment I am performing one more time. So this is the vessel which is having, but here is the vessel is containing at 90 degrees Celsius. Now I need to raise the temperature 91 degrees centigrade. Here is the mass 1 kilogram only. Here is the mass 1 kilogram only. Can you guess the same amount of heat energy is enough to supply to the rise in 1 degree Celsius in the second case? This is the second case. This is the first case.
Yes, sir.
Is it same energy is sufficient to rise the 1 degree Celsius?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But this is absolutely wrong. Please once again recall what I am saying. Already the temperature is 90 degrees Celsius is there. To rise the 91 degrees Celsius means we need to supply more amount of heat energy to the system. That means what does it means at the highest temperature, higher temperature, the specific heat at C is not a constant term for a given system. It is not a constant term. It is defined only in between the range only. But you need to remember this for your interview purpose only, not to in your mathematical while solving your problems or where you are appearing your normal test. You need to use this idea, but you need to feel this. So here is the 30 degrees Celsius temperature is there. To rise the temperature 31 degrees Celsius, it is more enough to supply 10 joule amount of energy. But here is not sufficient to the 10 joule energy because it is having 90 degrees Celsius. To rise the 91 degrees centigrade means you need more than to the 10 joule. Then only it will go to the 91 degrees Celsius. That means specific heat capacity will violate at higher temperatures. It will not a constant term at higher temperature. Don't confuse. It is the out of syllabus. Just I am telling for your interview purposes only. Okay na? Are you getting or not?
Sure.
Don't use these concepts in your normal while you are solving the problems. You feel that up to your level, C is a constant term through a given substance, but it is not a constant. If you go to the in-depth manner, it is not a constant. They may ask in your interview exams like this question. Now I am going to the another term, another specific heat capacity. Now I am moving to the another. So now let me go to the one of the small experiment. After that I will go to the another important one. Is there any issue up to what we discussed? No issue, na? Hello?
No, sir.
No issue, na?
No, sir.
No. Now I am going to the another one, the same concept. Molar specific heat capacity. This is also somewhat important only for your normal examination. Now the third case is molar specific heat capacity. Heat capacity. This is the another equation is there. How can we find the molar specific heat capacity? See, molar specific heat capacity is nothing but just I need to remember. This is the defining for mole, one mole of substance only. That is the definition. Let me write molar specific heat capacity will denote the capital C. So it will denoted with it will labeled with 1 by n into dq by dt. This is the formula where n is equal to moles. When n is equal to mole of the substance. So how can we define this one? It is the where where capital C will become to delta Q only, where n is equal to 1 mole, where n is equal to 1 mole, where delta T is equal to unit rise in temperature. So unit rising in temperature. So how can we do the definition for this one? It is nothing but molar specific heat capacity is nothing but it is the amount of heat required to rise the unit temperature of the substance for 1 mole. Is it correct only, no?
Yes, sir.
So that is the definition I need to write. So it is the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 mole of substance by unity. That means it may be 1 degree Celsius, it may be 1 Kelvin, or it may be 1 degree Fahrenheit. So like that we need to rise the temperature. That is molar specific heat capacity. What are the units for molar specific heat capacity? Molar specific heat capacity units. So molar specific heat capacity units. So that the units of molar specific heat capacity, capital C. Basic formula I am taking. Capital C is equal to 1 by n into delta Q by delta T. So n means number of moles. Mole is the unit for moles. Delta Q is equal to joules. T is equal to Kelvin. So units in SI system is equal to joule per mole in Kelvin. So if you go to the CGS units means erg per mole Kelvin. So otherwise if you go to the calorie per mole per Kelvin. Degree Celsius. This is the unit for CGS system. Now if you go to the molar specific heat capacity, is the two types of molar specific heat capacities are there. There are two types of molar specific heat capacity. One molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure. Molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure. Constant pressure. P is equal to constant at constant pressure. It is labeled with dimensional formula. Okay, let me go to the dimensional formula. Just it will come mole inverse in the previous formula. Just dimensional formula. Let me finish the dimensional formula for the molar specific heat capacity. Energy is equal to ml square T power minus 2 Kelvin power minus 4 mole inverse. This is the dimensional formula. So this pen is not working. Let me write once again the same equation. L square T power minus 2 K power minus 1 mole inverse. This is the dimensional formula for the molar specific heat capacity. Now we are moving to the two types of molar specific heat capacities are there. They will define at constant pressure as well as the constant volume. They will define like this. So that it will denoted with the Cp. Cp means the molar specific heat capacity of the system at a constant pressure. So that means the total definition will come with a small word at constant pressure only. So let me write this one. This is the mathematical formula. Cp is the same only 1 by n into delta Q divided by delta T into this total work is going on at constant pressure, at constant, P is equal to at constant. How can we define this one? The amount of heat required to rise the 1 mole of substance by unit temperature at a constant pressure. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
So let me write the first definition. The second definition I won't be write. Let me write this one. The amount of heat required heat required to rise the 1 mole of substance to unit 1 mole of 2 unit at a constant pressure. This is the definition for the molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure. Now if you go to the second definition, so can I write like this? Can I write like this formula? Can I write like this? Will you please look on this one? Cp is equal to 1 by n into delta Q divided by delta T is there. Can I write like this? dQ is equal to, delta Q is equal to Cp into n into delta T. So is it correct only? We can use this formula in problem solving. That's why fix this one in your brain. So we are going to use this formula. So now, in the similar manner, CV, molar specific heat capacity at a constant volume, is a label of CV. So I am not writing because of it, the similar continuation is coming. So CV is a mathematical formula is 1 by n into delta Q divided by delta T, but the total work is going on at a constant volume. V is at a constant volume. How can we define this? It is the amount of heat required for 1 mole of system to rise unit temperature. That is the formula. Now in the similar manner also, can we write dQ is equal to n into CV into delta T, while the experiment is going on at constant volume. Is it correct or not? At a constant volume. Here this formula should use at constant pressure. Here you need to take care about this one. So up to now, what we discuss this one. So number of moles definition also is there. What is the number of moles? The mass of the system divided by molecular weight of the system also is there. So can we write the definition in molar specific heat in terms of molecular weight of the system also we can write. Let me write that one also. So what is this one? Capital C, specific heat capacity, molar specific heat capacity, capital C is equal to what is the basic formula? 1 divided by n into 1 by n into delta Q divided by delta T is the formula. But we know that a number of moles m is equal to mass of the substance divided by molecular weight of the substance. Okay, can we let me define what is mean by F, what is mean by N. Let me define here. So where m is equal to mass of the substance, where capital M is equal to molecular weight of the substance, So in terms of can we write like this? This formula can we write like this? So delta C, capital C is equal to 1 by n into delta Q by delta T can be written as 1 by n means small m divided by capital M. Delta Q by delta T. So that is the denominator by denominator. It will come to the numerator. So capital C is equal to capital M divided by small m into delta Q divided by delta T. Okay, now will you please look on this one? 1 by m into this term is another physical quantity is there. Are you getting that? Specific heat capacity with a single small c. Are you getting that? Are you getting that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So that is capital C is equal to capital M into small c. What does it mean, sir? The molar specific heat capacity is equal to, it is the product of molecular mass of the substance into specific heat capacity of the substance. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
So that can I write here. Let me write. This is the very important. We are going to use this one also. Let me fix in your brain. We are going to use this one. Can I write like this? So the specific molar specific heat capacity is equal to molar specific heat capacity is equal to heat capacity is equal to what can I write? So molar mass, molecular mass, molecular mass of the substance into a specific heat capacity of the substance. Specific heat capacity specific heat capacity of the substance. Capacity of the substance. This is the formula what we are going to use. So is there any doubt up to here? Now we are going to one of the topic which is not relevant for you, but it is very important for your competitive exam. Up to now what we discuss, they will exist in your textbook, but now what we are going to discuss, it is not exist in your syllabus. That's why I am going to please it will keep it as out of syllabus for you, but it is very important for your competitive exam. Let me finish that one also. Please wait 1 minute. Yes, please. Please wait 1 minute, ma. Please wait 1 minute.
Stop.
Any doubt, ma? Any doubt?
Yes.
Wait, keep write the doubts in a separate column. I will discuss after completion of this topic. Keep it in your write in your paper, and I will discuss that doubts in a after completion of this one. Please wait 1 minute. Wait, ma. That is a very important topic, but I forgot to explain this one. So now let me do this one. Now this is the continuation topic. I need to introduce this topic here itself because it is a very important for your competitive exams. That's why I introducing here. So feel it is the out of syllabus for your PUC 1, but it is a very important for your competitive exam. See, ma, there is the ideal gas equation relation is there. The relation between the molar specific heat capacity Cp and at constant pressure molar specific heat capacity at constant volume is there. These specific heat relations are there. Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R. This is the relation. Are you getting this relation in your chemistry?
Yes, sir.
So this relation. So this relation is the very important. We are going to use this relation. Now one more relation is there, that is the Mayer's equation. So Mayer's equation is there. Mayer's formula is there. Mayer's formula. What is the Mayer's formula? Is telling that where Cp by Cv it will be denoted with one of the constant term, that is the gamma.
Gamma.
Yes, gamma. So are you getting now? That is this concept is you feel that it is not a important concept, but it is a very important for your competitive exam. So gamma. So you please look on this one. This is the Cp minus Cv one equation is there. Cp by Cv is equal to second equation is there. I am rewriting this equation in terms of by eliminating the Cp value. I need to eliminate this Cp value in terms of Cv. Then I will write Cp is equal to gamma into Cv. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So that is so these what does mean heat? Gamma, you may feel that what does mean heat? Gamma means it is the heat capacity ratio. Heat capacity ratio. Capacity ratio. It is a label of the heat capacity. What does it means gamma? So now I want to use this one in the equation. I am substituting the Cp value in the equation 1. So that is equal to gamma into Cv minus Cv is equal to capital R. So can I write? I am taking the Cv is the common term. So after taking the common term, I am sending this remaining term to other side. So whiteboard is not working. So that is equal to gamma minus 1 into capital R is equal to capital CV. Capital CV is equal to capital R. Then CV is equal to capital R divided by gamma minus 1. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
So this is the one of the relation. They may ask the question with the help of the specific heat capacity ratio and universal gas constant value. They may ask the question, find out the molar specific heat capacity at constant volume. This formula you need to use. So this is the, if you know the gamma heat capacity ratio. Heat capacity ratio. If you know the heat capacity ratio and R value is the constant term, na? 8.314 into 3.4 8.36 na? 8.36 I think. 314 or 8 point something they will give. 8.3 joule per mole or joule per mole.
Kelvin, sir.
Joule per Kelvin. Okay, joule per Kelvin. This is the value for the R value. So with help of this one, you can easily find out the CV value of the given mass, given substance. Now if you go to the another one, they may ask the question relation between the CV and gamma value. CP and gamma value. Once again I am recalling, Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R. One equation is there. Gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. One equation is there. But I need Cv term. So, but I need to eliminate the Cv term. That is equal to Cv is equal to Cp divided by gamma. Is it correct only, na?
Yes, sir.
So I am substituting where Cv is there. I am going to substitute this value. Then Cp minus Cp divided by gamma is equal to capital R. I am taking the Cp is the common term. 1 minus 1 by gamma is equal to capital R. Then one more step I will introduce here. So gamma is the LC, that is equal to Cp into gamma minus 1 divided by gamma is equal to capital R. So our goal is to find out the Cp value. So then Cp is equal to gamma into capital R divided by gamma minus 1. Okay na?
Yes, sir.
So this is the very important term for this one. You are going to use in your competitive examination. This is the most important. Now one more concept I need to introduce here. One more concept of introduce here. They may ask in your examination the value of the gamma in terms of the degree of freedoms. So degree of freedoms. Degree of freedom. This is the gamma in terms of degree of freedom. They may ask in your question in our competitive examination. So you don't know what is meant by degree of freedom. You don't know the. Did you get any degree of freedom concept up to now?
No, sir.
No. So let me introduce a very small concept. So the degree of freedoms is nothing but it is the how many quantities are required to explain the system. To explain the system, that is nothing but degree of freedom. Degree of freedoms is nothing but it is the number of quantities, number of coordinates. Sorry, quantity not coordinates. Number of coordinates required to explain the system. It is named as the degree of freedom. So let me introduce that concept very briefly, because we don't have that is concept in our books also. Just we are going to the out of syllabus. That's why I am introducing very briefly. So let's assume here is the one of the particle is there in this vessel. Let's assume these particle can move. So these particle can move this direction like this. It can move any direction. There is no any restrictions to move this particle in this vessel, means it can move any direction. Let's assume our coordinate system is here. Coordinate system means it may consist of x, y and z. So let's assume the particle is in this point. To explain this position of the particle, we need at least x value we needed, y value we needed, and z value also we needed to explain this one. X, y, z values we needed. That means the free particle, to explain the free particle, the number of degree of freedoms are 3. The number of degree of freedoms are 3. So otherwise, if you want to go to the another one, so let's assume one particle is moving like this direction. It is moving in the straight line. It is moving in the straight line. So it is that means what are the other quantities? It is we are not allowing to move in the y direction. It is blocked. We are not moving to move in the z direction. It is blocked. We allowed only to move the particle in x direction only. It is allowing to move in x direction only. Then if a particle is moving in a x direction, number of degree of freedoms, how many number of degree of freedom? How many degree of freedom? One is required. To explain this one is required. So if the particle is here means x1 distance is. If a particle is here means x2 distance. If the particle is here means x3 distance is there. That is the more enough. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
So like that. Otherwise, if you go to the another one, if the particle is moving in a plane means it is a two-dimensional shape, na? Sorry. So wait. Plane means a two-dimensional plane. Plane means two-dimensional, na? Two-dimensional. It is a two-dimensional. So now I am taking the one of the plane on this one. Plane means like a board. So on this board we are allowing to move along the x direction. We are allowing to move along the y direction, but we blocked to move along the z direction. It is blocked. So that means the restrictions is here. Z is restricted. So y is allowed and also x is allowed. What is happening here? Well, x is allowed. If you want to explain the position of the particle, we need x value, we need y value. That means the number of degree of freedoms for this particle is 2. Number of degree of freedoms for these particles are the 2. So that is the concept of this one, degree of freedom. But why I introduce this one means it is the very simpler is there. So they may ask in your competitive examination, there is a relation between the gamma and the degree of freedoms of the system. There is a relation between the gamma and degree of freedoms of the system. So how can you relate this one? Correlate means gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 divided by f. This is a very important formula. You need to by heart this one if you are going to the competitive exams. That is a very important. So very simpler only. 1 plus 2 divided by f is there. Now if you go to the degree of freedoms for monoatomic. So you need to take, yes please.
What is meant by F, sir?
I already told now it is F is nothing but degree of freedoms. F is nothing but degree of freedoms of the system. Degree of freedom of the system. This is the degree of freedom of the system. I already introduced F quantity. I did not introduce. I did not told you F term. Okay, sorry. Here I need to put F. Here I need to put F. That is the enough form. So now this is the 1 by F. F is the degree of freedom of the system. Now why this broad is stuck in? Yes. Now up to your level, I am requesting you. I am requesting you. Please note it down. These degree of freedoms. What is the degree of freedoms for 3 systems? You need to know these values. Now the degree of freedoms for monoatomic system. Monoatomic system means the degree of freedoms values are 3 only. So if you go to the diatomic system, diatomic system, the degree of freedoms are 5. Somebody they are telling that they are very familiar about this one, I hope. So maybe they are coming from Narayana Chaitanya school. They are coming from Narayana Chaitanya, I hope. So that is, I hope that one. So now we are going to the polyatomic system. So polyatomic system, the degree of freedoms are 6. These are the very important. If you know this one, then only you will go to the calculate the remaining term. what is the purpose of this one means they may ask the gamma values, they may ask the CP values, they may ask the CV values. How can we correlate this one with this one? So we have the formula, na? We already have the formula. Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 divided by f. If we know the f value, we can find the gamma value. If we know the gamma value, we have the CP value. CP value, what is the formula? CP is equal to gamma into R divided by gamma minus 1 is there. This formula we can use. Can we use for monoatomic system? Otherwise, if we go to the polyatomic system, it will be somewhat difficult. Na? Let me go to the polyatomic system. So first of all, I need to find out the gamma value for polyatomic system. That is equal to 1 plus 2 divided by 6. That is equal to 1 by 3. 1 plus 1 by 3. That is equal to 4 by 3. Gamma value is equal to 4 by 3. Now we need to substitute the 4 by 3 here value. So that is equal to 4 by 3 into capital R. 4 by 3 into capital R divided by gamma value 4 by 3 minus 1. That is equal to, what is the value we will get? 4 by 3 capital R divided by that is equal to 3 minus 4 is equal to 1 by 3 only. 3 cancel. So 4R. So that means CP value for the polyatomic system is 4R. Okay, now they may ask like that. They may ask like that in your examination. What about CV value? CV value is equal to R divided by gamma minus 1. Gamma already we find it out. Gamma already we found. That is equal to R divided by 4 by 3 minus 1 is equal to 1 by 3 will come. That is equal to 3R. We need to check. Otherwise, I will go to the directly. If you know the CP value, we can directly go to the CV value in another equation. What is the equation? Is the CP minus CV capital R is there. Let me check whether these two quantities are correct or not. CP minus CV is equal to capital R is the existing relation. So what we found here, CP is equal to 4R minus 3R. That is equal to capital R. So R is equal to R. That is the correct only. Our relation correct only. So what I told you, from here onwards you will go to the another method 2. What is the method 2? CP minus CV equal to capital R is there. So you already found the CP value is the 4R minus CV is equal to capital R. So send this capital R to this side. 4R minus R is equal to CV. That is equal to CV is equal to 3R. So same only. We arrived the same equation only. That is the thing we need to know. So what I told up to now, that is the hashtag I mentioned na. That value is the completely out of syllabus. It is only for your competitive level only. Up to here is the sorry, it is going up. Yes, up to here is the it is the out of syllabus as per your syllabus copy is given by the university authorities. Let me close here. Let me close first. Let me close here. After that, I will discuss your doubts also.